Hello, amazing English learners, and welcome back to the Best English Podcast. I'm your host, Sophia, and I am truly so happy you've decided to spend this precious hour with me today. We're about to embark on something truly exciting, something that I believe will not just change your English journey, but deeply enhance your ability to connect with the world around you, opening up new possibilities and enriching your life in countless ways. This isn't just another lesson, it's an invitation to unlock the confident, articulate voice you already possess within, waiting to express itself freely and powerfully in English. You know, many of you listening right now have been learning English for quite some time. You've diligently put in the effort, perhaps spending countless hours studying grammar rules, meticulously memorizing vocabulary lists, and absorbing information from various textbooks, online courses, or even English language media. You can likely understand a good deal when you listen to English songs, immerse yourselves in movies, or delve into interesting articles and books. Your comprehension skills are strong, a testament to your hard work and dedication. But then, when it comes to speaking, that's often where the real challenge pops up, isn't it? Perhaps those carefully learned words feel stuck in your mind, like they're playing a frustrating game of hide and seek, just out of reach, refusing to come out when you need them most. Or maybe you find yourself worrying a lot about making mistakes, fearing judgment or embarrassment, and that perfectly formed sentence you thought of just seems to disappear into thin air the moment you try to say it out loud, leaving you feeling a little lost or even discouraged. What you truly desire, what you yearn for, is to speak more easily, more smoothly, and with a lot more confidence. You want to sound more like you, naturally expressing your unique thoughts and feelings in English, without hesitation or self-doubt holding you back from truly connecting. Well, guess what? That's exactly what today's special immersive session is all about. We're calling it Speak With Me, your 1-hour English speaking practice, a comprehensive guide to daily fluency for intermediate English learners. And here's the absolute best part, the most exciting promise. We're not just going to talk about how to become fluent, we're going to do it. We're going to practice step by step right here together for a whole hour. Imagine this as your personal English-speaking gym session, a dedicated workout for your language muscles, guided by me, where every exercise builds your strength, improves your agility, and boosts your confidence with every single spoken word, making you feel more comfortable and natural in English conversations. I completely understand that feeling of being an intermediate learner. It's a very common stage, and it's often described as hitting a plateau. Imagine you've been climbing a big, exciting mountain, a journey you started with immense enthusiasm and determination. You've made incredible progress, ascending steadily, and you can clearly see how far you've come, looking back at the ground you've covered. That feeling of accomplishment is wonderful, and you've learned so much, truly deserving to feel proud of your efforts. But now, you find yourself standing on a wide, flat area, the plateau, a seemingly endless stretch where the path forward isn't immediately clear. You can clearly see the next peak, the summit of true fluency, shining brightly in the distance, beckoning you forward, but you're not quite sure how to get there. The path ahead seems less clear, and it feels like your upward progress has slowed down, perhaps even stopped, leaving you to wonder if you're doing something wrong or if you've reached your limit. But I want you to know it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's actually a wonderful sign that you have already built a strong base, a solid foundation of English knowledge, And now it's just time to activate all that amazing English you already have inside you. It's time to turn that passive understanding into active, confident communication, transforming what you know in your mind into what you can do with your voice easily and naturally in any situation. Today, we're going to tackle those common struggles head-on, directly addressing the challenges that keep you from speaking freely and confidently. We'll work on turning all that English you understand in your head into words that come out of your mouth easily and clearly, without hesitation or stumbling. Think of it like this. We're going to gently wake up your English-speaking muscles, those parts of your brain and mouth that need practice. One word, one phrase, one sentence at a time, building momentum until speaking feels as natural and effortless as breathing itself. Throughout this hour, I'll be your guide and your dedicated practice partner. I'll share real-life situations that you can immediately relate to, like ordering food at a bustling restaurant, introducing yourself to someone new at a social gathering, or simply describing your day's events to a friend. I'll tell you some helpful stories that will make sense and illustrate key points in a memorable way, making the learning stick. I'll explain tricky English points in a simple, easy-to-understand way, breaking down complex ideas into manageable pieces so they don't feel overwhelming or confusing. And, most importantly, I'll give you lots and lots of chances to speak with me right here, right now, aloud, without judgment or pressure. So, take a deep breath, clear your mind, get ready to open your mouth, make some sounds, and truly build that speaking confidence. Let's jump right in and start speaking English. Now that our mindset is aligned and we're ready to speak, let's dive into the very first, and perhaps most important, part of becoming a confident English speaker: your mindset. This isn't just about learning words or grammar rules. It's about how you think about your learning journey, how you approach every challenge and every small victory along the way, shaping your entire experience. Let me tell you a story about a marathon runner. Imagine a person who dreams of running a full marathon. That's a really long race, over 42 kilometers, a true test of endurance and willpower, demanding immense dedication. They don't just wake up one morning and decide to run that distance. No, that would be impossible and probably quite painful, leading to injury and profound disappointment. Instead, they train consistently, day after day, week after week, for many months, sometimes even a year. They start with short runs, perhaps just a few kilometers, then slowly and steadily increase the distance, building their stamina, strengthening their muscles, and improving their breathing techniques. They understand that consistency, doing a little bit every day, is much more powerful than trying to do everything at once, only to burn out quickly and give up. They know it's a marathon, a long-term journey requiring sustained effort, not a sprint, a quick burst of effort that can't be maintained. English fluency is exactly the same. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You won't become perfectly fluent overnight, and that's okay. The real magic happens through consistent daily effort, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's about building habits that help you grow little by little, steadily moving towards your goal. So, with that in mind, let's talk about some key mindset principles that will help you move from being a passive learner to a proactive speaker. These are ideas that can truly change the way you approach English, making your journey more enjoyable, effective, and ultimately more successful. First, and this is a big one, perhaps the most crucial: embrace mistakes. I know. It sounds easy to say, but it's often hard to do. Many of us are afraid of making mistakes because we think it means we're failing or that people will judge us negatively. We might feel embarrassed or shy, and that feeling can stop us from even trying to speak at all. But let me tell you, mistakes are not failures. They are actually wonderful stepping stones on your path to fluency. Every single time you make a mistake, it means you are trying, you are actively engaging with the language. And trying, my friends, is the only way we truly learn and improve. Think of it like a baby learning to walk. They fall down countless times, they stumble, and sometimes they even cry in frustration, but they don't give up. They don't think, "Oh no, I fell, I'm a failure and I should stop trying." No, they just get back up and try again, driven by a natural desire to move forward and explore. Each fall teaches them something new about balance, about how their body works, about what to do differently next time. It's the exact same with English. Every wrong word or incorrect sentence is just feedback. A gentle nudge telling you what you need to work on next, showing you exactly where to focus your attention for improvement. For example, I remember when I was learning Spanish, I once told a friend I was embarazada, thinking it meant embarrassed, but it actually means pregnant. It was a big mistake, and quite funny now that I look back, but I certainly never forgot the correct word for embarrassed after that memorable moment. That little moment of error led to a strong memory and true learning. So, let's try something together right now. Say this with me, out loud and with conviction, feeling the power in your voice. My mistakes make me stronger. Feel that? Good. Let that feeling of strength guide you, knowing that every attempt, even imperfect ones, brings you closer to your ultimate goal of fluent English. Second, speak from day one. This principle goes hand in hand with embracing mistakes, creating a powerful combination. Don't wait for perfection, because perfection, in language learning, is often the enemy of progress. If you wait until you know every single word or every single grammar rule perfectly, until you feel absolutely 100% ready and flawless, you might never start speaking at all. And here's the secret, the absolute truth. You learn to speak by speaking. It's like learning to swim. You could read all the books about swimming, watch all the videos, study every stroke and technique on dry land, but you won't truly learn until you get into the water and start moving your arms and legs, feeling the water around you, practicing the actual movements. The same is true for English. Your brain needs to practice producing the language, not just understanding it passively. It needs to form the sounds, connect the words, and build sentences in real time, actively engaging your mouth and mind. So, right now, let's do a tiny mini challenge. Look around the room you're in. Just for a moment, describe 3 things you see, out loud, in English. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Don't worry about grammar or vocabulary. Just say what comes to mind. For example, you might say, "I see a chair. It is brown. It is next to a table." Go ahead, try it now. Great job. Even those few words are a significant step forward, a small but important act of speaking. You could also try describing your breakfast, or the weather outside your window, or what you plan to do immediately after this podcast. The key is to just start speaking, even to yourself, making English a living, breathing part of your day, a natural expression of your thoughts and observations. Third, find your why. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful, acting as your internal compass. Why are you learning English? What is the deep, personal reason that drives you, that sparks your motivation and keeps you going when challenges arise? Is it for your job, so you can confidently talk to international clients, attend global meetings, and truly grow your career, opening up new and exciting opportunities you never thought possible. Is it for travel, so you can explore new countries with confidence, order food easily, ask for directions without hesitation, and connect authentically with people from different cultures around the world, making new friends and unforgettable memories? Maybe it's to enjoy movies and books without subtitles, truly understanding every joke and nuance, feeling fully immersed in stories, or to communicate freely with family members who live abroad, bridging distances and strengthening bonds. Whatever your reason, hold on to that why tightly. Write it down, keep it in your mind, visualize it. It's your fuel, your motivation, your guiding star, especially on those days when you feel tired or discouraged, or when you hit that plateau we talked about. When you know why you're doing something, when you have a clear purpose, it's much easier to keep going, to push through challenges, and to stay committed to your long-term goal. So, take a moment right now. What's your biggest motivation for learning English? Whisper it to yourself, or just think it clearly in your mind. Keep that reason close. It's your personal superpower, your secret source of strength that will carry you forward on this amazing journey. And finally, a principle we touched on with our marathon runner: consistency over intensity. This is vital, perhaps the most practical advice I can offer. It's much, much better to speak English for 10 minutes every single day than to try and do a huge, exhausting 2-hour session once a week. Why? Because consistent, short bursts of practice keep the language fresh in your mind, constantly activating your English knowledge. They build a habit, making English a natural part of your daily routine, something you do without even thinking. They make English a natural part of your daily life, not just a chore you do once in a while, but an integrated part of your existence. Think about brushing your teeth. You do it every day, right? It's a small action, takes only a few minutes, but it keeps your teeth healthy and strong over time. English speaking is similar. Even 5 minutes of focused speaking practice can make a huge difference over time, accumulating into significant progress and building fluency brick by brick, day by day. How can you integrate English into tiny pockets of your day? Maybe you narrate your morning routine to yourself in English while you're getting ready. For example, you could say, "I am brushing my teeth. I am putting on my shirt. I am making coffee." Or you describe what you're eating for lunch, or simply repeat a few phrases you heard on a podcast, trying to match the speaker's rhythm and intonation. The key is to make it a regular, easy habit, something you do without even thinking too much about it, like a natural part of your day, flowing effortlessly. So, remember these 4 powerful mindset shifts. Embrace mistakes, speak from day one, find your why, and choose consistency over intensity. These are the foundations upon which will build your English speaking confidence, making your journey smoother, more enjoyable, and ultimately, more successful. In our next section, we'll start putting these ideas into action as we look at some important building blocks of fluent speech, grammar in a very practical, understandable way. Get ready. Now that our mindset is in the right place and we're feeling ready to speak, let's dive into some of the practical building blocks of fluent English. For many intermediate learners, grammar can sometimes feel like a strict teacher, full of confusing rules, like a maze of exceptions and complicated structures that are hard to navigate. It can feel like a heavy textbook that's hard to lift and even harder to understand, making you feel overwhelmed. But today, we're going to change that perception. We're going to make grammar your ally, your helpful friend. for expressing yourself clearly and smoothly. We'll see how grammar helps you say exactly what you mean, adding precision and elegance to your words, making your communication more effective and natural. Let's start with something that often causes a little confusion. Mastering verb tenses beyond the very basics. You already know the simple past, like I walked, and the simple present, I walk. These are your foundational tenses, the building blocks you started with. But what about when things happen at different times in the past, or when an action started in the past and is still going on, or has just finished with a clear connection to the present? That's where tenses like the past perfect and the present perfect continuous become incredibly useful for telling clear, detailed stories and expressing ongoing situations with accuracy and nuance. Let me tell you a story about my friend Alex and a missed train. This happened last year, and it's a perfect example to show you the difference between the past perfect and the simple past. Alex was traveling to a big city for an important meeting, a meeting he absolutely couldn't miss. He woke up a little late that morning, feeling rushed and a bit stressed, and quickly made his way to the train station. He hurried through the crowds, his heart pounding with anxiety. And when he finally arrived at the platform, he saw the train pulling away, its red lights disappearing into the distance. He missed it. He felt so frustrated, a wave of disappointment washing over him. Now, when Alex told me this story later that day, he said, I had arrived at the station, but the train had already left. Notice how he used had arrived and had already left. This tells us something very important. The train leaving happened before he arrived. It's like looking back from a point in the past, clarifying the precise sequence of events, showing which action came first. If he had simply said, the train left, it might sound like the train left at the same time he arrived or even after. But by using had left, he made it super clear that the train's departure was the first event and his arrival was the second event. This subtle difference makes your storytelling much clearer and more natural, painting a precise picture for your listener and making your narrative much easier to follow and understand. So, the past perfect, which is formed with had plus past participle, is used for an action that happened before another action in the past or before a specific time in the past. It helps to set the scene and clarify the order of events, giving your story a clear timeline. Let's try a quick practice. I'll give you 2 actions, and I want you to combine them using the past perfect and simple past, thinking carefully about which action happened first. Ready? Here's the first one. I eat all the cake before my sister arrive. How would you say that, making sure the eating happened first? The correct way is, I had eaten all the cake before my sister arrived. Did you get it? Great! You clearly showed that the cake was gone before her arrival, establishing the timeline of events. Let's try another one. By the time he finish his work, everyone else go home. Think about it. Which action happened first? His finishing work or everyone else going home? You should have said, by the time he had finished his work, everyone else had gone home. Both actions were completed before a certain point in the past, or one happened before the other. Fantastic! You're clearly showing the order of past events, which adds precision and sophistication to your storytelling. Now, let's practice saying a full sentence with the past perfect. Repeat after me, clearly and confidently. I had studied English for years before I finally visited London. Excellent. You're building that muscle for precise storytelling, making your English sound more natural and fluent. Now, let's talk about the present perfect continuous, which is formed with has, have been plus verbing. This tense is fantastic for talking about actions that started in the past and are still continuing right now, or have just recently stopped but have a clear connection to the present. Think about a hobby you've been doing for a long time, something you started and are still deeply engaged in. For me, I've been hosting this podcast for quite a while now. It started in the past, and I'm still doing it, enjoying every moment and connecting with all of you. Or maybe you've been reading a really interesting book and are almost finished, or you just took a break from it and are thinking about the plot. You could say, I've been reading this book all week. It started in the past, and you're still doing it, or you just finished it, and the act of reading is still relevant now. Perhaps you're eager to discuss it. This tense emphasizes the duration and the ongoing nature of the action, or its recent completion with present relevance, making your descriptions more dynamic. We often use the words for and since with this tense to specify the time frame. We use for to talk about a period of time, like for 3 hours or for 2 years. And we use since to talk about a specific starting point, like since Monday or since 2020. Let's practice this with some personalized questions. I want you to answer me aloud using the present perfect continuous. First question, how long have you been learning English? Now, try to answer me aloud, starting with, I've been learning English for, and then state the duration or I've been learning English since, and state the starting point. Good job! Here's another one. What's one thing you've been doing consistently this week? Tell me about it. Maybe it's exercising, or cooking, or working on a project. Describe that ongoing activity, emphasizing its continuous nature and how long it's been happening. You're doing great. Using these tenses correctly will make your English sound much more precise and natural, like a native speaker who understands the flow of time in a story and in ongoing situations, adding depth and clarity to your communication. Next up, let's talk about connecting ideas, conjunctions and discourse markers. You already know basic connecting words like and but. They're like the simple bridges between your sentences, allowing you to link basic thoughts. But to make your speech flow more naturally and sound more sophisticated, like a smooth river instead of a bumpy road, we need to use more advanced connecting words and phrases. These are words like however, therefore, although, in addition, and on the other hand. These aren't just fancy words. They are the glue that holds your thoughts together, making your speech sound more organized, logical, and truly human. They help you express complex ideas clearly, showing relationships between different parts of your message and guiding your listener through your reasoning and arguments. Let's look at a few of these. However is like saying but it's a bit more formal and often shows a contrast or something unexpected. For example, the weather was terrible. However, we still had a good time. It introduces a point that goes against what was just said, creating a slight shift in thought or presenting an opposing idea, adding complexity to your statement. Therefore means for this reason or as a result. It shows a cause and effect, explaining why something happened. It was raining heavily, therefore, we decided to stay indoors. This clearly links the rain to the decision to stay inside, showing a logical consequence or conclusion, making your reasoning clear. Although is similar to but or even though. It introduces a contrasting idea, often at the beginning of a sentence. Although it was difficult, she managed to finish the project. This shows that despite the difficulty, the project was completed, highlighting a successful outcome against odds or an unexpected result, adding nuance to your description. In addition means also or another point is. It helps you add more information, building on what you've already said and expanding on a point. The food was delicious. In addition, the service was excellent. It simply adds another positive point, making the description richer and more complete, giving a fuller picture. On the other hand, is perfect when you're comparing two different ideas or sides of an argument, presenting a balanced view or an alternative perspective. Working from home offers great flexibility. On the other hand, it can sometimes feel a bit lonely. This clearly presents a different perspective, showing both advantages and disadvantages, allowing for a more nuanced and thoughtful discussion. Let's try some practice with these. Imagine you're debating a topic. Let's say, should we work from home or the office? I'll give you a sentence, and I want you to add one of these connecting phrases and then continue the thought. Don't worry about saying the perfect thing. Just try to use the connecting word to link your ideas in a natural way. Ready? Here's the first one. Working from home offers great flexibility. Now add however or on the other hand and finish the sentence with a contrasting idea. For example, you might have said, working from home offers great flexibility. However, it can be hard to separate work and personal life. Or, working from home offers great flexibility. On the other hand, some people miss the social interaction of an office. Both are great ways to show a contrasting viewpoint, making your argument more complex and well-rounded. Let's try another one. I'll give you a positive statement, and I want you to add therefore, and then a logical result. The team's productivity increased. You could have said, the team's productivity increased. Therefore, the company decided to give everyone a bonus. Or, the team's productivity increased. Therefore, they were able to finish the project ahead of schedule. You're showing a clear cause and effect, demonstrating logical progression in your thoughts. See how these words make your sentences richer and your arguments clearer. They're like signposts for your listener, guiding them through your thoughts and making your speech more persuasive and easier to follow. Practice using them in your daily speaking, even if it's just to yourself. You'll find them incredibly useful for sounding more thoughtful and organized, like a truly fluent speaker who can express complex ideas with ease and precision. Finally, for this section, let's talk about adding detail and nuance, adjectives and adverbs. These are the words that make your English sound vibrant, colorful, and truly expressive. They help you paint a picture with your words, bringing your descriptions to life and making your stories more engaging and memorable. Think about the difference between saying, she ate, and she quickly ate the delicious meal. The second sentence gives so much more information, doesn't it? It tells us how she ate and what kind of meal it was, making the scene much more vivid and memorable for your listener. Adjectives describe nouns, people, places, things. They tell us what kind or how many. For example, a tall building, a happy child, 3 red apples. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. They tell us how, when, where, or to what extent. For example, she sings beautifully, he ran very quickly, they arrived early. Many intermediate learners tend to stick to very basic adjectives and adverbs, using words like good or bad or fast. But expanding your range here can make a huge difference in how natural and interesting your speech sounds. Instead of just good, try excellent, wonderful, fantastic, superb, or amazing. Instead of bad, try terrible, awful, challenging, dreadful, or unpleasant. Instead of quickly, try rapidly, swiftly, hastily, promptly, or speedily. These stronger, more specific words add so much more impact and precision to your descriptions, making your English richer and more engaging. Let's play a little descriptive challenge. I'm going to give you a very simple action, and I want you to repeat it, but this time add at least one adjective and one adverb to make it more vivid. Remember, the goal is to paint a picture with your words, to make your listener truly see and feel what you're describing. For example, if I say she ate, you could say she quickly ate the delicious meal. Ready? Here's your first one. He spoke. How would you make that more descriptive? You might have said something like, he softly spoke the wise words, or he loudly spoke the exciting news. Both are excellent ways to add detail and convey emotion, making your sentence come alive. Let's try another. They danced. Add some detail. Perhaps you said, they energetically danced the traditional dance, or they gracefully danced the beautiful waltz. See how much more engaging those descriptions are? They transport your listener directly to the scene, allowing them to visualize the action. See how much more interesting and detailed your sentences become? These small additions make a big impact on your fluency and how well you communicate your ideas. Don't be afraid to experiment with new adjectives and adverbs. When you read or listen to English, pay attention to these descriptive words and try to use them yourself. Try to notice how native speakers use them in everyday conversations and collect your favorites, adding them to your active vocabulary for future use. So, in this section, we've explored how to use verb tenses to tell clearer stories, how to connect your ideas smoothly, and how to add rich detail. These are all tools that will help you build more complex, natural-sounding sentences, taking your English to the next level of expression. In our next part, we'll shift our focus to truly activating your vocabulary and making those words truly yours, ready for instant use in any conversation. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and I'll be right back with you. All right, fantastic work so far, everyone. We've built our strong mindset, we've sharpened our grammar tools, and we've activated our vocabulary. Now, it's time for the most exciting part, real-world speaking practice and fluency strategies. This is where we take all that knowledge and put it into action, making your English flow naturally, just like a conversation with a friend. This is where the real magic happens, moving from knowing about English to truly using English in dynamic, everyday situations. Think of it this way. You wouldn't learn to ride a bicycle just by reading a book about it, right? You could read every single book on cycling, memorize all the parts of a bike, understand the physics of balance, but you still wouldn't be able to ride it. You need to get on the bike, try to balance, maybe fall a few times, scrape your knee, and keep practicing until it feels natural, until it becomes second nature, an automatic skill you perform without conscious thought. Speaking English is exactly the same. The more you speak, the more comfortable and fluent you become, and the less you have to think about each word or grammatical rule. So, let's dive into some practical, real-world strategies you can use starting today to boost your speaking confidence and make speaking a natural, effortless part of your life. Our first strategy is called shadowing and mimicry. Be a language parrot, but a smart one. This is one of my absolute favorite techniques, and it's incredibly powerful for improving your pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and then immediately trying to repeat exactly what they say, at the same speed, with the same rhythm and the same intonation. You're not just repeating words, you're copying the music of the language, the way sounds blend together, the natural pauses, and the emphasis on certain words. It's like being a parrot, but a very smart one, because you're actively paying attention to how the sounds connect, how words are stressed, and how sentences rise and fall, mimicking the natural flow and melody of English speech. Why is this so effective? Because it trains your mouth and your ears at the same time, creating a strong connection between what you hear and what you produce. It helps you get used to the natural flow of English, the way words link together, and where the stress falls in sentences. You'll start to sound more natural without even thinking about it, almost as if the sounds are flowing effortlessly from you, becoming ingrained in your muscle memory for speaking. Let's try it together. I'm going to read a short sentence, first slowly and clearly, and then at a more natural, flowing speed. I want you to listen carefully, and then try to copy me exactly. Don't worry about understanding every single word perfectly at first. Just focus on the sounds and the rhythm, the melody of the sentence. Ready? Listen carefully to how I say this sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, try to imitate my rhythm and intonation, exactly as I said it. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now it's your turn. Try to say it, copying my speed and sound, feeling the rhythm. Excellent! You're training your mouth muscles and your auditory processing, building that crucial connection. Let's try a short everyday dialogue. I'll say a line, and then I'll pause for you to repeat it, trying to match my tone and expression, making it sound as natural as possible. Hi, how are you today? Or, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What about you? Keep practicing shadowing with any English audio you listen to, whether it's this podcast, a favorite song, a short video clip from YouTube, or even a sentence from a movie. Start with short phrases and then gradually try longer sentences. You'll be amazed at how quickly your pronunciation and natural flow improve, and how much more confident you feel when speaking spontaneously. Our second strategy is the Narrate Your Day Challenge. This is a simple yet incredibly effective way to get more speaking practice into your daily life, even when you're alone. The idea is to describe your actions aloud, in English, as you're doing them. It might feel a little strange at first, like you're talking to yourself, but trust me, it works wonders. It's like having a constant personal English conversation, a running commentary of your life in English, happening inside your head and then out loud. This strategy forces your brain to think in English and to quickly find the words you need to describe everyday activities. It helps you move from thinking about English to thinking in English, which is a huge step towards true fluency, making the language feel more intuitive. Let me give you an example of how I might narrate my day right now. Right now, I'm sitting in front of my microphone. I'm looking at my notes on the screen. I'm speaking clearly into the microphone so you can hear me well. I'm also drinking a cup of tea, and it's quite warm, a nice comfort on this busy day. I can see the clock on the wall, and it's almost time for our next segment, so I need to keep moving. See? Very simple. Everyday actions described in simple sentences. Now, it's your turn. What are you doing right now? Describe it in 2 or 3 simple sentences. Don't worry about perfection. Don't overthink it. Just speak. What are you seeing, doing, or even feeling in this very moment? Go ahead, speak aloud. Fantastic. Even if it was just a few words, that's real speaking practice, and you're building a powerful habit that integrates English into your subconscious, making it a natural part of your thought process. You can do this challenge anywhere. While you're cooking, walking to the store, cleaning your house, or waiting for something. Just quietly narrate your actions in English. It's like a secret fluency exercise that you can do anytime, anywhere, turning mundane moments into valuable learning opportunities. Next, let's talk about strategy 3. Expand on ideas. The Tell Me More game. Many intermediate learners tend to give short, one-word answers, even if they know more information. This strategy is all about pushing yourself to add more detail, to elaborate, and to make your answers richer and more interesting. When someone asks you a question, try to think beyond the basic answer and include who, what, where, when, why, and how. These are your storytelling prompts, the building blocks for more engaging and meaningful conversations. Imagine I ask you, what did you do last weekend? A basic answer might be, I stayed home. That's okay, and it's a start, but it doesn't tell me much. Now, let's play the Tell Me More game. If you said, I stayed home, I would encourage you. Good start. Now tell me more. Why did you stay home? What did you do there? Who were you with? Did you watch a movie? Read a book? Cook a special meal? Did anything surprising or interesting happen? This pushes you to use more vocabulary and more complex sentences to connect your thoughts and paint a fuller picture for your listener. It's about turning a simple answer into a mini-story, making your conversation much more engaging and allowing you to share more of yourself and your experiences. Let's try a practice prompt. I want you to tell me about your favorite type of food. Don't just name it, tell me why you like it, what it tastes like when you usually eat it, or who you like to eat it with. Give me at least 3 sentences, adding as much detail as you can, making it vivid. Speak aloud. Wonderful. You're actively building longer, more descriptive sentences, adding layers of detail to your answers. This skill is crucial for real conversations, where you want to share more than just basic facts and truly connect with others on a deeper level, expressing your personality and experiences. Our 4th strategy is vital for sounding truly human and confident. Handling communication breakdowns. Using human-like expressions for clarification. Here's a secret. Even native English speakers sometimes don't understand everything, or they might forget a word in the middle of a sentence. It's completely normal. What makes you sound fluent and confident isn't avoiding these moments, but knowing how to handle them smoothly and politely, keeping the conversation flowing without awkward pauses. Instead of just saying, "What?" or staying silent and feeling awkward, you can use polite and natural phrases to ask for clarification or to buy yourself a little time to think. This shows you're engaged and trying to understand, making the conversation flow better and showing respect for your conversation partner. Let's learn a few useful phrases that will help you navigate these moments gracefully. Could you rephrase that, please? This means, could you say that in a different way, perhaps using simpler words or a different explanation, so I can understand better? I'm not sure I follow you. This means, I don't quite understand what you mean. Could you explain further or give me an example to clarify? What do you mean by? Use this when you understand some words, but not the main idea or a specific term. For example, if someone says, we need to operationalize the synergy, you could ask, what do you mean by operationalize the synergy? It's a direct and polite way to seek clarification on a specific phrase. It's on the tip of my tongue. This means, I know the word, but I can't remember it right now. It's a very common and natural expression that shows you're actively searching for the word, and it invites the other person to help if they can, making the interaction collaborative. Could you say that again, please? This is simple and direct, and always polite, especially if you didn't hear something clearly due to background noise or a quick speaking pace. Let's try a scenario. Imagine I just said something a bit confusing. I said, "My colleague just told me something about synergistic paradigms for our new project." What would you ask me if you didn't understand what synergistic paradigms meant? Choose one of the phrases we just learned and say it aloud. You might have said, "What do you mean by synergistic paradigms?" Or, "Could you rephrase that, please?" Perfect. You're showing active listening and a genuine desire to understand, which is a key part of fluent and effective communication. Now, another scenario. You're in a conversation and you're trying to remember a specific word, perhaps the name of a person or a place, but it just won't come to you. You know it, but it's stuck. What do you say to the other person to let them know you're thinking and perhaps invite their help? You could say, "Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Just a moment, I know this word." This is a very natural way to communicate that you're searching for the word, and it makes the other person feel comfortable waiting or even offering a suggestion. These phrases are your secret weapons for smooth, human-like conversations, making you sound more confident and capable even when you hit a small hurdle in your speech. Finally, for our real-world practice, let's try Strategy 5, the Mini Story Challenge. This brings everything together. It encourages you to use your new mindset, your grammar skills, and your activated vocabulary to tell a short, simple story. Storytelling is a fundamental part of human communication, a powerful way to connect with others, share experiences, and it's a fantastic way to practice fluency in a natural, engaging context. Think about a small, interesting event that happened to you recently. Maybe it was yesterday or earlier today. Perhaps you saw something funny on your commute, or something unexpected happened on your way to work, or you had a surprising conversation with a friend or a stranger. Now, I want you to try and tell me that story in 3 to 5 sentences. As you tell it, try to use at least one new phrasal verb or idiom we discussed earlier in this session, if you can, to make it even more natural. Don't overthink it. Just let the words flow. I'll give you a moment to think of your story and then speak it aloud, as if you're telling it to a friend over coffee. Amazing! Every time you tell a story, even a short one, you are actively building your fluency. You're connecting ideas, choosing words, and practicing sentence structure in a meaningful way. That's real progress, and it's a skill you'll use constantly in English, whether you're at work, traveling, or just chatting with friends in everyday life. So, in this section, we've practiced shadowing to improve your pronunciation and rhythm, narrated our day to yourself for consistent speaking, expanded on our ideas to give richer answers, learned how to handle communication breakdowns gracefully, and even told a mini story. These are all practical tools you can use every single day to make English speaking a natural and enjoyable part of your life. As we move towards the end of our hour together, I want to talk about how to keep this momentum going and truly sustain your fluency journey. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with some final thoughts and encouragement. All right, my wonderful English learners, we've reached the final part of our special Speak With Me session. What an incredible hour it has been. We've covered so much ground together, from shifting your mindset to actively practicing grammar, activating your vocabulary, and trying out real-world speaking strategies. You've been speaking, listening, and engaging, And that's exactly what builds fluency: consistent, active participation, day after day, week after week. Before we say goodbye for today, let's quickly recap some of the most important ideas we've talked about. Remember, we started with the idea that English fluency is like a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistency over intensity, doing a little bit every day, making small, steady progress that adds up over time to significant improvement. We talked about the crucial importance of embracing mistakes, seeing them as valuable learning opportunities, not failures, and understanding that they are a natural, even necessary part of growth in any new skill. We encouraged you to speak from day one, using the English you already know, no matter how simple, and to always remember your why, your personal, deep reason for learning English, which will keep you motivated and focused on your goal, even when things get tough or you feel discouraged. We then made grammar your friend, focusing on how verb tenses like past perfect and present perfect continuous can help you tell clearer, more precise stories about time, adding depth and accuracy to your narratives. We explored how connecting words like however and therefore can make your sentences flow more smoothly and logically, linking your ideas seamlessly and making your arguments more persuasive and easy to follow. And we discovered how adjectives and adverbs add rich detail and color to your descriptions, painting vivid pictures with your words and making your speech much more engaging and expressive. After that, we focused on truly activating your vocabulary, moving words from your passive understanding to active use in conversation. We learned about collocations, those natural word pairs that make your English sound authentic and natural, like heavy rain or make a decision. We tackled phrasal verbs, which are so common in everyday English, and we practiced using them in real situations to make your speech more natural. We also added some personality to your speech with common idioms like break the ice and under the weather, making your conversations more lively and relatable. And finally, we saw how understanding word families and affixes can help you expand your vocabulary quickly and intelligently, giving you more flexibility with words and their meanings. And in our last section, we put it all into real practice. You tried shadowing to improve your pronunciation and rhythm. You narrated your day to yourself for consistent speaking practice. You practiced expanding on your ideas to give richer, more detailed answers. And you learned how to handle communication breakdowns gracefully with polite phrases. You even told a mini story, bringing all your skills together in a natural and creative way. Now, the big question is, how do you keep this amazing momentum going? How do you truly sustain your fluency journey beyond this hour, making English a permanent and growing part of your life? Remember, this podcast is a powerful stepping stone, a great way to practice, but to truly achieve daily fluency, you need to continue to immerse yourself in English in varied and consistent ways, making it a natural part of your everyday existence. To master the foundations for long-term success, it's important to embrace a structured approach to grammar and vocabulary. This means continuing to use interactive exercises, perhaps through online platforms or language learning apps, to reinforce what you've learned and build new knowledge. Think about what works best for your personal learning style. Are you a visual learner who benefits from seeing words and concepts? Then watch videos and use flashcards with pictures. Are you an auditory learner who learns best by hearing? Then focus on listening to podcasts and audiobooks and use shadowing. Do you learn by doing, a kinesthetic learner? Then focus on speaking and writing tasks, getting your mouth and hands involved in the learning process. Identifying your personal learning style will help you tailor your practice sessions for maximum effectiveness, making every minute you spend learning truly count and feel more natural to you. And remember to set realistic goals. Start small, just like with our daily narration challenge, and gradually increase the complexity of your learning tasks as you feel more confident and capable, building momentum step by step. Next, let's consider the art of active communication. This is where you really unleash your confidence and put your English to the test in real-world scenarios. Don't be shy. Actively seek out opportunities to practice English with real people. This could be native speakers through language exchange programs, either online platforms that connect learners or local community groups in your area. These interactions are fantastic for real-time practice, giving you immediate feedback and helping you adapt to natural conversation speed. You can also join online communities or forums where you can engage in conversations, ask questions, and share your learning journey with others who are on a similar path. It's a great way to get support, find motivation, and feel like you're part of a bigger, supportive group. And most importantly, embrace every chance you get to apply English in everyday interactions, even if it's something simple like ordering coffee at a cafe, asking for directions in a new place, or making a small purchase at a store. Every single interaction, no matter how small, is a victory, building your confidence and making English more practical and integrated into your life. To truly make English a part of your life, focus on transforming your routine for fluency. You can integrate English into your daily life in so many creative and enjoyable ways. Think about activities you already love to do. Do you like cooking? Then watch cooking shows in English, following recipes and learning new vocabulary related to food and cooking techniques. Are you a fan of stories? Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks during your commute, or while doing chores, immersing yourself in narratives and different accents. You can also utilize technology to your advantage. Voice assistants on your phone or smart speaker can be great for quick questions, practicing pronunciation, or even just having a short English interaction. Language learning apps offer structured lessons and games that make learning fun and engaging, and social media platforms can be used to follow English-speaking content creators or join discussion groups related to your interests, expanding your exposure to authentic language and real-world usage. Beyond these fun activities, it's also helpful to set aside a dedicated time each day for structured learning, actively engaging with English content, whether it's reviewing grammar rules, learning new vocabulary, or practicing speaking prompts, ensuring consistent progress and continuous growth. And finally, to ensure you're sustaining the journey and maintaining your fluency, remember that becoming fluent is a continuous process, a lifelong adventure of learning and growth. Embrace this long-term commitment with a consistent learning plan and dedicated practice. It's not about reaching a finish line and stopping. It's about enjoying the journey of continuous improvement, always finding new ways to grow and challenge yourself. Along the way, make sure to celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they seem. Every new word you use correctly, every smooth sentence you form, every time you understand a native speaker without effort, these are all big wins. Acknowledge them, give yourself a pat on the back, and they will reinforce your motivation and create positive learning experiences, making you eager for more. And as you gain more fluency, you'll find wonderful opportunities to connect with others, share your knowledge, and even inspire future language learners who are just starting their own journeys. Your journey can be a beacon for someone else, showing them what's possible through dedication and consistent effort. Remember, fluency isn't about speaking perfectly, It's about speaking effectively, confidently, and naturally. It's about connecting with people, sharing your ideas, and truly expressing yourself in English, allowing your true personality to shine through. Every single word you speak, every attempt you make, every mistake you learn from, is building your fluency muscles stronger and stronger. You've got this. Your dedication to learning English is truly inspiring. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep speaking. Your fluency journey is a rewarding one, full of discoveries and connections, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please consider sharing it with a friend who's also learning English. And I would absolutely love it if you could leave us a review and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next here on the Best English Podcast. You can also connect with us on your favorite social media platforms or visit our website. Thank you so much for joining me, Sophia, on the Best English Podcast. Until next time, keep speaking English and keep building your confidence. Bye for now.